Good morning, and thank you for tuning into the African Reform Movement channel, where we discuss everything African reform with an emphasis on Ghana. If you're joining us for the very first time, thank you for watching, thank you for tuning in, and I hope that you'll get a lot out of what we're going to discuss today. It's just a few things. If you're joining us for the first time, Dr. Nii, who is my co-host, who is one that is giving us to talk today and gives talk every time, has a number of social media platforms. These are all of his handles here. Please don't worry if you can't take in all details now. So I've listed them on his description box. You can go through those at your own leisure. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. We would also ask that all questions for this particular broadcast are sent during this broadcast so that Dr. Nii can answer them live. Use our live stream function, send in any question you have concerning anything you're not sure of, and Dr. Nii will answer them. Unfortunately, if you ask any questions after we go off the air, they will not be answered. We just don't have time to go back and go sifting through. Okay. Dr. Nii has also got his own website, sankofaafrica.com, where he writes a number of articles about different things that are happening, hot topics, and things that people are really going to be impacted by, particularly in the nation of Ghana. Dr. Nii has written a number of books. He's mentioned the Fifth Republic a few times. That book can be purchased at his Book Nook store. Information is as follows. But like I've said, all of this information I've just now shown you can be gotten from his description box underneath his YouTube channel. Okay, so don't worry if you don't have the time to write them all down now. So today, we have an interesting topic for you. Guggisberg-Makola and Thatcher economics, foundations for a new economy. Now, I've lived in Britain, have done my whole life, so I was here when Margaret Thatcher was in power. So I'm interested to hear what Dr. Nii's take is on her economic policies. So Dr. Nii, over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Uche. I'm very glad that you are a British and you know a bit about Margaret Thatcher, so that it's not all a Ghanaian affair. At least today, I'm in your neighborhood.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, we're talking about Guggisberg-Makola-Thatcher economics, and very interesting thing to link these three things, because on the outside it may look very different, but you realize that when you come to the, like you say, strip to the bone, you see that there's a connecting line between the three, which is quite interesting. And I'm calling this connection the foundations for our new economy. Can you please have the first slide?
Yes, you can.
Guggisberg-Makola-Thatcher economics, foundations for a new economy. All right, so please, the next slide. Guggisberg, who was he? Very interesting man. He was described by Wraith as the people's governor and a reformer who was ahead of his time. And the Ghanaian historian Edu Boain described him as the greatest governor Ghana ever had. I describe him as the one who laid the foundation for our modern nation state, Ghana, Gordon Guggisberg. He was our governor from 1919 after the war to 1928. Before the war, he had served as a surveyor in the Gold Coast and in Nigeria. He surveyed the whole place and had a very good idea about Ghana before he came back after the war as our governor. I can talk a whole day about Gordon Guggisberg, but this guy was the one who set the ball rolling. He had a concept that you have to create before you share, and you have to live within your means as the cornerstone of his 10-year development plan. So to create money to spend, you have to get hold of something. And he got hold of cocoa. When Guggisberg came, we were producing 10,000 metric tons of cocoa a year. By the time he left office, we were producing 250,000 metric tons, and Ghana was world number one producer of cocoa. He made so much money from cocoa that he did so much without taking a loan from IMF or from international capital markets or from anywhere. As a matter of fact, when he first presented his program to the colonial secretary and said, no, this is still, he said it was too ambitious and they were not too keen to approve everything. But he went ahead and he mobilized money, pushed ahead the cocoa industry, mobilized money, and he did what nobody has done in our country. Nobody, not even close second. This man. Guggisberg started, he came with the Guggisberg Constitution, which for the first time admitted Africans into the Legislative Council for the first time anywhere in Africa. He started that. Obviously, it was prompted by Joe Kisley Hayford, who went to England on his own with his own money to go and ask for African representation in the Legislative Council in 1920. When he came back, Guggisberg had a chat with him and he drew the constitution, which was very liberal at that point in time. Cocoa money came, and what did he do? Guggisberg built Takoradi Harbour. Okay. Can anybody tell me one single African president today who will build a harbor without a loan, without going and begging for loan? But Guggisberg did it. And he did not only do that, he built railway from Sekondi, from Kumasi to Sekondi. He completed the Accra Kumasi railway that before that it was up to Tafo. He extended it to Kumasi, and he actually had plans to extend the railway from Kumasi to Gambaga. It did not happen when he left office, but he had all the plans there. But not only that, once he put there, then about 4,000 kilometers of roads all over the country, got in Guggisberg. About 4,000 kilometers of roads all over the country. Now, after he finished the transportation network, that will aid and help, that will aid the transport and export of cocoa, and the money started coming. He shifted his attention to other things. First, he came to health. He built the famous Kolebu Teaching Hospital, where I was trained in 1925. Okay, in 4 years' time, Kolebu is going to be 100 years old. First teaching hospital in Ghana. And not only that, he built 7 more hospitals in Ashanti and the Northern Territories and some parts of Accra. One man, he did all these with no loan. Can anybody tell me one single African president today who will build a teaching hospital without a loan? He did that. And from there, he built the Osu maternity home. Now, he did not finish that. He came to education. And this is the interesting part. He came from a patriarchal system and said, I was going to build a school in Accra that would train boys. And he brought this Ghanaian called Dr. James Kwegiri Agri from America to be the first co-principal. Now, when he discussed the plan with Dr. Agri, I said, no, you cannot build schools for only boys. I said, well, but that's because that's what it was then in UK, wherever he came from, Canada or UK or whatever, it was mainly a boy system. Then Agri made the famous statement that when you train a man, you train an individual. But when you train a woman, you train a whole community or a whole nation. For us, you cannot train only men here. You have to train men and women. And that's how Achimota became a mixed school, a co-educational school. Now, Guggisberg wanted the best for Africa, okay? When an African advised him, he took it. Go and advise your president. Go and advise your president. It doesn't matter which country in Africa. He's not going to take it. He's not going to take it. But and then it wasn't there alone. When it came to the point of the motto and the logo for the school, Dr. Agri, had been sent to America to go and study. He went to America. He loved what he saw there. And he realized that actually, races could live together in peace. He realized that different racial groups.
He felt that races could live together in peace. He saw that in America.
The what?
Do you say Agri went to America and saw that the races could live together in peace?
Yeah, he realized that because in life, people can always see the glass half empty or half full. That's how life is like. Some people will live their life complaining forever, and others will say, oh no, it's not the best, but it's better than what it was before, or it's better than what I'm used to, or it's better than where I came from. So I'll look at it that way. Okay? Now, Agri went to America and he believed white men taking from Ghana to America, and he became a doctor there. And he believed that there is always a better way out. He believed that things could always be better. And when he was asked to give the logo for the school, he gave the keyboards, the black and white. He said, you can play the black alone, you hear one monotonous sound. You play the white alone, you hear one monotonous sound. But when you play the two together, you get a best harmonious melody. That's his message to the rest of the world. It is our duty to perfect our relationship so that we can get the best out of it, because we are not going to go anywhere soon. Black and white are going to live on this earth forever. When he went to America, what he saw there, he has seen worse in this country. When he left Ghana, they were still doing human sacrifices. Okay, they were still killing human beings. Ghanaians were killing Ghanaians for gods. All right? When he went there, he saw something different. And he said that when he was asked whether he would like to reincarnate as black or white, he said, I would like to reincarnate as black and teach the black man the good things he has learned from the white man. It doesn't mean everything what the white man did was right, but there are good things there. And he said that that's what he will bring to his country to help his people. So that is life. As we are speaking today in Ghana, they are having ritual murders. Ghanaians killing Ghanaians, happening in Ghana, happening in Nigeria, happening everywhere. That is life. Mm-hmm. You can always go to a place and see the best things there and bring the best things to your place, or you can go to the place and see what you want to see there and winch the whole life. But he decided that he will look at the bright side of life. White men have made me a doctor and a better person for his society. That's what happened to him. Anyway, Guggisberg did all these things. He built the children's hospital in Accra. At that time, population of Ghana was 2.5 million. Today, we are at 30 million. All right. No Ghanaian government has built a children's hospital anywhere. And the 68-bed hospital he built in 1928 remains the same. We have not added one single bed to it. At the time they built it, it was staffed with international pediatricians. And that's the place Kwashiorkor protein energy malnutrition was first diagnosed. And it was recorded, it was described in Lancet Medical Journal. And today, protein energy malnutrition is still called Kwashiorkor because somebody saw the vision and built Children's Hospital in Accra. We haven't done anything since. 60 years or so after independence. Somebody came there, a white man came from his country to your country, and within 10 years, he built a children's hospital, all right? A dedicated children's hospital, 68 beds for that time. Since the something years after independence, and no African head of state in Ghana has built a dedicated children's hospital to extend what Guggisberg did. We haven't done that. We are building a cathedral. And like Agri advised Guggisberg that no, make Achimota a co-educational school, not only boys, and he took the advice. I have written to our president that instead of building a cathedral, if he was going to do something for Jesus Christ, he should know the friends of Jesus. Let the children come unto me and do not hinder them, for these the kingdom of heaven belongs to. These are the children, these are the friends of Christ. If you really want to do something for Christ, go and build a children's hospital on the Akwapim Togo ranges, not in the noisy Accra. Good atmosphere. 600, 700 bed children's hospital, world class. To extend what the imperialists came to do in your country, but he will not hear because we are not, that's the way we are. When Agri advised him, he took Agri's advice. You advise your own president that you are voted for, he won't take it. And this is a problem in Ghana and probably the whole of Africa. But Guggisberg did what he did. The biggest part of all was that he did not only build the cocoa industry, he built small business. He built three, at least in Accra, he built three big markets: the Makola market, Adbraka market, and Osu market. Now, what he built in Adbraka remains the same. We have not changed anything there. What he built in Osu remains the same. 100 years. We have not changed anything. The Makola he built was destroyed by Jerry Rawlings, completely demolished. The white man came to build Makola so that small business will flourish. It was destroyed by a Ghanaian. 100 years after Guggisberg, small business still remains largely informal. And then we have a finance minister complaining that people are not, the informal sector is not paying tax, What have you done to what Guggisberg began?
I have a question here along those lines. Why do you think our leaders didn't build on what Guggisberg did? Hello? Oh, sound's gone. Sorry, viewer, just 1 second. What's happened here? I can't hear. Oh, 1 minute. You've turned your sound off. Turn your sound on. You've turned your sound off.
Aha.
There you go. There you go. Okay. So I had a question from Shika. Why do you think our leaders didn't build on what Guggisberg did?
It's like saying that, oh, why this player didn't score the goal like Maradona? They don't know how to do it. They have other interest. They don't know how to do it, one. They have other interest, two. And they couldn't have done that because Guggisberg did not actually inflate any price. He worked for the money and built everything and left surplus for us. These ones, if they were to do it, they'll inflate the prices. They'll go for loan and they'll squander the money. So probably, I don't know. But they don't know how to do it. They haven't done it. Anyway, so the principle here is that Guggisberg created before he spent. And he always did everything within his means. He did not borrow, because if you borrow money to build a hospital, how are you going to pay it? Are you going to collect the money from the hospital people to go and pay it? How are you going to pay it? If you borrow money to build ye block, how are you going to pay it? How are you going to pay it? All right. He created before he spent. And this is key. When I'm talking of GMT economics, it's a key thing. You have to create before you spend. And you have to live within your means. Guggisberg built harbor, railways, roads, hospitals, markets, and he brought the corn mill. Before then, they used to pound corn to make our staple food. He bought the corn mill, which changed the production of our staple food forever. As a matter of fact, in some part of Greater Accra, where sugar comes from, they actually call the corn mill Goji. Yeah, they named the corn mill after him. He brought the corn mill to Ghana. And that changed everything the way it made production easy. It brought more profit. Now we are talking of people not paying their tax. What has the government of Ghana done for small business for them to think that they have to pay tax to them? Guggisberg brought the corn mill. What have they done? What have they done? He brought the corn mill to Ghana. Now, in my original language, in my language, the original name for Kenke used to be Otim. Otim, okay? The Dangbe, Shika people, they still call it Otim. But in my place, we don't call it Komi, a corruption of the corn mill. So they call the corn mill Goji, and we call our Kenke Komi. Because of one man. All right. So now we know Guggisberg. And the principle of Guggisberg here is that you have to create before you spend. You live within your means. Next slide.
Okay. Was Guggisberg from the UK or from America, Dr. Nii?
Guggisberg actually originated from Canada, but he lived in school in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah. The story of Makola. The story of Makola. When did it begin and when did it end? Makola never dies. Guggisberg built Makola in 1924. As the hub, it was an open market for women to come and sell their stuff there, retailers, all sort of things. Very huge market. And it was demolished in 1979 after 55 years. Okay, by Jerry Rawlings, those drug-induced psychotics. They destroyed Makola. Now, what's his name? Guggisberg. When he commissioned Makola, he told the people there that he was giving them the opportunity to be able to organize themselves into a force, an economic force, and help propel their country economically. And true to form, they took his word. And within a generation, Makola women were leading the independence struggle, the independence movement. Makola women, Dede Askinshan, Akwa Shosho, Adua, Letitia Kwe, Amayete, and the rest. These were powerful women who were funding or who funded CPP and ensured that CPP won all the elections leading to Ghana's independence. From 1924 to 1956, a period of how many years? 32 years, we had women in the forefront of Ghana politics. It became the center of small business, became a university for practical economics and common sense. They understood how to take their stock, what to keep here, what to sell, how to release things. They understood everything that we learn in the books, and they worked it to be very, very prosperous. In fact, it became the most profitable organization in Ghana, to the envy of stupid boys in the army who came and destroyed it. Me sitting here talking to you, I'm a product of Makola because my grandmother was there. My paternal grandmother was there. She started working in Makola 10 years after its inauguration in 1934, just after my father was born. And he worked there for 45 years. Makola was demolished 2 months before I went to secondary school in 1979. But this woman was able to look after me throughout secondary school, 7 years of secondary school and 6 years of medical school.
How was she able to do that when her workplace has been destroyed? She never, I mean, she stayed at home till she died 2013. I mean, you're there one day, somebody comes, demolishes your workplace, go home, no compensation, no nothing. But your grandson who was with you, you're able to look after your grandson throughout. How many of us, lawyers, doctors, whatever, will be able to do that? And that's the point. Because she always kept something because she knew that things may change. She saved for the future. She saved for the future. You can only save for the future if you spend less than what you make. That's the only way. If you do not spend less than what you make, you will be in debt. But she, and I'm a living testimony, not only me, other cousins who are living with her. All right, that's the key point.
So, Dr. Nii,
That's
why exactly was the market destroyed?
Oh, because they believed that the marketing were too powerful and they were hoarding things and were the cause of Ghana's economic decline. So, I mean, that's why I said they are drug-induced psychotics. So it's very difficult to rationalize the way they behave. They're Rollins and his mob. All right. So they just demolished the whole market completely. If you have to see the market, the walls, how it was built, proper. They dynamited the whole thing, demolished everything. One day. And they've got scot-free. No judgment.
All of these people were just left to fend for themselves. There's no compensation.
Yeah, that's right. Destroy everything. You know, that's it. Nothing. Not a city, not a penny. But they were different people. They were different people. They've made plans for their future. No pension, no nothing. Not only did she look after herself till she died, she looked after me for 13 years, 7 years in secondary school, 6 years in medical school, when her workplace has been demolished. And it was because she planned for the future. She planned for the future. So that she had her own pension. She was one of 35 children from her father's side. She's probably number 17 or number 8 in the middle. A woman with 4 children. The husband died when my aunt was 8 months old. But she was the first to build a house among a sibling of 34 because of Makola. Brother, sister, whatever, first to build a house. First to send a son to, in fact, first and only to send a son to Achimota School. Because of Makola. She had the sense that you have to plan for the future. The only way you can plan for the future is to spend less than what you make. Today, we have a budget that is running 35.6 billion deficit. So how do we plan for the future? How do we save for the future? We can't balance our budget for this year. We didn't balance it last year and the year before and the year before, and never will we be able to balance it. So what these illiterate women did, our literate men cannot do it. What these illiterate women did, our literate men cannot do it. There's a problem. Go back to basics. You just don't only live within your means, but you save for the future. You invest in education. That's the future. You save for the future. Next slide. Who was Maggie Thatcher? Yay! People can say whatever they want to say. But me, Maggie Thatcher was great. absolutely great because first and foremost, she loved her country. She loved her country. And not only that, she was a reincarnated Makola woman. When she said that any woman who understands the problem of running a home will be near to understand the problems of running a country, I say this man was a reincarnated Makola woman because I know that. I know that. Any woman who understands the problems of running a home will be near to understanding the problems of running a country. And that's why Makola was successful. The male politicians were not successful. That's why when Ghana was giving to literate males, we became bankrupt in 8 years. And at the time the first government was overthrown, we were in debt of $1 billion, 600 million pounds. It never happened in Makola. They save for the future. We started with debt, $1 billion. Bankrupt. Ghana at independence was only 5.5 million people. The population of Greater Accra today. Okay? One region today. That was Ghana's problem at independence. We had 200 million pounds in reserves that the white man left. The imperialists left. Within 8 years, we literally leaked the 200 million pounds, completely gone. At the time, we were producing 50% of world cocoa. 50% of world cocoa, one country. Because of the foundation Guggisberg laid for the cocoa industry. All the money from there, all went. And on top, we had $1 billion of debt. All in 9 years. All in 9 years. Women ran Makola for 55 years, and they were never in debt. They prospered. Because they know one thing. You live within your means and you save for the future. You don't accrue debt for the future. And that's why I love Mag. Mag understood what he was saying. That once a woman understands how to run a home, not a man, okay? Once a woman understands how to run a home, she's close to understanding how to run a country. That's where it begins. Budgeting. How you use this for this, how you use that. That's where it begins. That's why I love Mag. But not only that, she said that her policies were not made out of some economic theories, but things that she and other millions were brought up with at home. An honest day work for an honest day pay. Live within your means. Put by a nest egg for the rainy day. Pay your bills on time and support the police.
It's 10:33 p.m.
And support the police. These form the basis of her policies. And that is so true. Now, the moment you read this, you know that the culture of governance starts from home and not the classroom. All the things that you have heard me talk about, all that I've written, I didn't learn them in school. I did not learn them in school. I didn't do any of these things in school. I learned it from home because I lived with a Makola woman. I lived with a Maggie Thatcher right in my house. An honest day's work and an honest day pay. You live within your means. You pay your things on duty. That's called civic responsibility. And rule of law, you support the police. Rule of law. You guys know that I was talking about what do you call that thing? Intangible wealth. Okay. Intangible wealth is 80% of the world of developed nations. And 93% of intangible wealth is education and rule of law. You invest in education, you invest in the future, and rule of law, you support the police. You support the police. Once you get these two things, we are going. And that is the GMT economics. That's the foundation. 7 points. 7. Create before you spend. Live within your means. What's the third one? Save for the future. Invest in education. Oh, I think next slide, please. Next slide. I think it's on next slide. I'm talking too much.
No, this is the next slide.
Oh, Dramani. All right. Okay. So this slide basically is to tell us one thing about not living within your means. Okay. When Rawlings left power, Ghana's total debt was $6.6 billion. Okay. When Kufuor came, he applied for HIPC, heavily indebted poor country, program, and 56% of this debt was forgiven. So we had $3.7 billion forgiven. Now that was left with $2.9 billion. At that point in time, the Ghana we have dropped 4 zeros of our cedi, so the Ghana cedi became almost equal to the dollar. So you can say we left about $3 billion as debt, or 2.9 or 3 billion cedis as debt. By the time Kufuor left office in January 2009, our debt has gone from 3 billion to 9 billion. Now, so it means that Kufuor basically accumulated 1.3 billion cedis of debt every year for 4.5 years. Okay, we were forgiving our HIPC thing July 2004, and he left January 2009. So 4.5 years, he accrued 6 billion cedis more. So that actually is 1.3 billion per year. Kufuor left with 9 billion. All right.
So what was he spending on? What was the money being used for? Do you know?
Oh, I mean, general expenses, the budget, supporting here, there, and there, but that's even not a big problem. But basically, we overspent by 6 billion under him. Then John Mahama came. Well, John Mahama was vice president. John Mahama was vice president before he became president, period of 8 years. So basically, I put all on him. And by the time he left office, Ghana was owing about 120 billion. Okay, in 8 years, the 9 billion has become 120 billion. He alone accrued 111 billion cedis.
How is that possible? What was he doing? How?
Yeah, so about 14 billion every year. No plan as how he was going to pay back. No plan.
Oh my gosh.
Even if they say that we should just pay 10% of this amount, 11 billion, we don't even have something that he has done that can give us 1 billion every year to pay that off in 11 years. We can't even pay 10% of the 111 billion. We can't. And this is what literate men did. And then he left 2017 January, and then Akufo-Addo took over. Between 2017 and now, Nana Akufo-Addo alone has taken 250 billion, more than twice what he came to meet. He has added 250 billion cedis to our debt profile. That is over 4.5 years. That is 55.6 billion every single year. There is no way we can pay. Nothing to show for it. Even if they say that, of the 250 billion, we should just pay 25 billion, just 10% over 25 years. We don't have what we can use to pay. We don't have any that will give us 1 billion every year to pay that. We don't, because this year, in the midst of this debt, we are running a deficit of 35.6 billion cedis. Where are you going to get the money from? If you have to pay 1 billion, we don't have it because we're already negative 35.6 billion. And this is what they have done. This is what they have done. This is what the literate men have done to our country, because they have refused to live within their means. They have refused to save for the future, and they have refused to invest for the future. Next slide, please.
Just before we go into that, and just one last question: do you think Ghana is ready for a female president?
Oh, of course, yes. Of course, yes. And it's something I'm going to talk about. Of course, yes.
Okay.
But the issue is not that the person is the female. The thing
No,
is that the person must be like a Makola woman.
Yes, I agree. But
Okay.
I mean, like, because I know that Africa is typically a very patriarchal society. You know, typically from what I've seen, I don't know too many countries.
Yeah,
Where
they have this woman in where? Liberia.
Mhm.
It didn't make any difference. So the issue is not so much the gender, but the mindset.
I see what you're saying, but from what I can see, typically from what I've experienced, what the conversations I've had, the instant it's about a woman, female, despite the fact she has a qualification, there tends to be like a lot of
I think the reason why we haven't had a female president, or whatever we want to call it, is because, in my opinion, the political terrain is very rough.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure females are scared with the insults and all those things. They are scared to approach. I don't think it's because that people will not vote for them, but they have to make the move. I don't think it's so much of patriarchy as they not being ready to come into the hot kitchen. That's the way I see it.
Okay.
I mean, I've tried to convince some few ladies, because personally, and I've said it everywhere, that I want my deputy to be a lady. And because I believe in split executive, president, the prime minister, the lady will be the prime minister. So the head of government. Okay. And I know I've said that several times again, that I'm going to have a minister for digital economy, small business, and deregulation. And I want that person also to be a woman, because she is going to handle what I'm talking about, the new economy. The new economy. Because a woman with the mindset of my grandmother, the mindset of Dede Ashiginsha, the mindset of Maggie Thatcher will transform Ghana. And that's what I'm talking about. Okay. That's part of the
How do you
package.
do that? That encourage more women to step forward. Obviously, qualified women. I'm talking about.
Yes.
Not anybody. Okay. When they see that,
Yes.
they'll really
That's
encourage them to go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the previous slide, we spoke about how these people have destroyed and they have failed Ghana. Now we have been saddled with a debt of 370 billion cedis. We can't pay it anyway. All right. No do it about that. Now we have to look at how to redeem Ghana, a redemption of Ghana by ARM, and then the 7 principles of the GMT economics. Create before you share. Build only what you can sustain. Save and invest for the future. Live within your means. Honest work and honest pay. Pay your bills. That's civic responsibility and law and order, rule of law. Support the police. Do the right thing. Stay away from crime. But when you have these things in place as principles of governance, you realize that what the women did in Makola, you can do it for Ghana. What the Makola women did, you can do it for Ghana. And that's all we need. Nothing magical. They did it. I saw it. I lived it. So that when Ghana does it, Ghana can live without IMF. Ghana can live without World Bank. Ghana can live without international capital market, because that's what the Makola women did. Even when their empire was demolished, they lived on. They still look after their children, their grandchildren, their nephews, their nieces. They lived on. They did everything as if they were working because they knew how to do it, and they save for the future.
Thank you, Dr. Nii. Okay. So, So Nii, sorry, not Nii. Sheik has said a big part of JJ's witch hunt was from jealousy and resentment.
That is true. That is true. He blamed everybody for his genesis. But we're not there when the mother met the father. It's not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
He blamed society. So he was jealous of everybody who was not like him, who he felt was better than him. But who caused him?
And she's speaking about this when it comes to the destruction of the Makola markets, amongst other things. Yeah. Okay. So Sheik also said, it looks like Guggisberg had Ghana at heart, more so than our own leaders today, except yourself with ARM, of course.
Of course. I mean, you know what? This gentleman, when he left Ghana, he was supposed to retire at the age of 60 in 1930. And the last letters he wrote to his friends, he told them that, he wants to retire and go back to Ghana to help the Negroes there. I'm very fond of that country, to help the Negroes there. And unfortunately, he died the same year he retired. Now, when the people of Ghana heard that this man's tomb was has been neglected, he had no headstone or whatever, the paramount chiefs of the Gold Coast and Ashanti went there physically, erected a tombstone for him because of what he did for Ghana. In ever-loving memory of Governor Sir Gordon Guggisberg, from the paramount chiefs and people of Ghana, of the Gold Coast and Ashanti. They went there and did that for that man. Yes, one man.
Wow.
And it wasn't, you see, and that's why I don't like the identity things. You see, when we decide to racialize competence, when we decide to racialize love, when we decide to racialize everything, this is what we get. If Guggisberg has been taught properly in our schools, it will go into some people that, I want to be like this man when I grow up.
Mm-hmm.
But white bad, black good. That's where we are today. That's where we are today. 370 billion cedis in debt, and we are still going. White bad, black good. That's where we are today. And that's why I said that, Uche, it's good to have a woman there, but it's useless if the woman thinks like the man.
Mm-hmm.
It's just if the woman doesn't think like a Makola woman.
Yeah. It has to be a very specific sort of person.
Yeah. So now the identity police we are now saddled with now is that, no, he's black, he's a female, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's not the point. The point is the mindset. What is in the mind? You can have a Guggisberg in a black person. You can have Agre in a white person. You can have Maggie Thatcher in a black person. You can have Dida Shinshan in a white woman. We have to move from that appearances to substance.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that.
And that's where we are coming from. Once we preach Makola, and that's why I said Makola never dies. Once we preach Makola, people understand what happened there. And those who are living witnesses of how Makola women live their life, people will be okay. This is what we should be teaching in college.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we do in college. Know what happens in Salisbury? Who cares about that? We had our own small business here. After 100 years, it's still largely informal. You don't know what you are doing. But when GMT comes, it will lead us into all truth. Like somebody said, when the comforter comes, it will lead into all truth. When GMT comes, it will lead into all truth. Strong manana.
Well, thank you, Dr. Nii. That is all there wasn't any questions really apart from what Sheikah says, just like some comments. Rosalind Byrne gave you greetings from London.
Oh, Chile, London.
It's very cold.
Yeah, I understand. Now, have you restored your energy and your coal and your things? Burn the coal, okay? You need to get power. Thank you very much, Rosie. Thank you very much for joining the discussion. But we need to go to the basics. You see, we need to go to the basics. It's not complicated. Guggisberg did it here in our country. Makola women did it. They did it. Long after their marketplace had demolished, they were still looking after their dependents. Me, as I'm sitting here today, I can't live 3 months without my salary. Beyond 3 months, I'll be in trouble.
Is it because like certain things have changed, like the way the economy is, where you're living, cost of living are quite different from when the Makola women were around? Do you think, or is it just like not planning?
No, it's just they were just astute businesswomen. You know, they were like Jewish people. They will never be, they just knew. I don't know how, but I can talk about it because there was some funny. Look, on the day that Makola was demolished, okay, somehow my grandmother got wind of it that they were going to demolish the market. So she came back from morning prayers, pulled me, say, "Hey, let's go. Hey, how come they're going to demolish Makola?" So we took taxi in front of our house. We went to Makola straight. And when we went there, what she told me that, don't worry about the khakis, for school. Don't worry about the khakis. Just mean the undercloth. The undercloth, that's undercloth is a material that when women die or when they are doing some traditional things, they use it like their old time underwear. And it's very expensive because they just cut it by 1 meter. It's very expensive because they don't wear them anymore. But when somebody dies, that's what they used to dress the person. Then she said, no, forget about the khakis. Bring this one. What do you call it? Boy. We call it boy. So even at that point, her mind was working fast that take the valuable ones, leave the khaki for them to destroy. And that's what we did. We're just running. And then we heard a siren. Then we all ran away. They demolished it right in our face.
That is so bad, man. That's just appalling.
I was really 12 years then. I remember very well. 2 months to go to secondary school. My workplace, my part-time business was demolished.
And they didn't replace it with anything. They just demolished it. And
Nothing.
That's appalling. That's very.
The amount of money that they destroyed. We left wax print. We left things there that we couldn't take. When we had a siren.
And even less like that shows that the injury, they meant to injure the people, because what they said was, listen, take your things, give you a day to collect all your things. We're going to tear down the market or rebuild or whatever. But
all these boys in the military at that point in time, they were going to school with children of Makola women, and they envied them because these students who comes to school well dressed, this and that, when she gets dad and my uncle were in Achimota school, right? And then so when he got to know that my uncle was my uncle, he said, "Wow, Otodako, those days you come to school, raise collars. In those days, 1950s, you knew how to raise your collars, and he was feeling very good in school." They said, "Wow, that your uncle?" It was something else. you know, what's your grand? I said, oh, no, my grandfather, I didn't even know his grandfather died when he was very young. It was his mother who looked after him. And this is the scenario. So they were very envious. They were very envious of those with that background. But they work hard. My grandma would get up 5 a.m. every single day. You know, there were no golden trees in Makola. They go and pluck gold and go and sell. They work very hard. But
it's a shame what we do to ourselves. It's a shame what your own countrymen will do to you. It's a shame. It's a shame.
Yeah.
Really a shame.
So here we are today. We are owing 370 billion cedis in debt. God, we do not know how to live within our means. God just taught us that he built all these things without borrowing 1 cent. Makola woman told us that my grandmother, I opened a bank account for her. She was keeping her money in something, you know. She wasn't going to bank. She didn't know how to. She had her own money, nothing to do with bank. No law, nothing. So we can do it as a people. Get the mindset.
Yeah.
Get the mindset. To drum the GMT economics down, make it, teach it in commerce, teach it in whatever, teach it everywhere, that this is the way we do it. This is the way it's been done. And we can also do it we have to contemporize it anyway. But the principles are the same. Rule of law.
Yeah.
Civic responsibility. Pay your bills on time. Don't bribe people. Don't bribe people. Because Ghana, we eat bribe. Bribe is water and air.
Same in Nigeria, places. Same there. Same there.
You know, save for the future. Invest in education. Create before you share. Build only what you can sustain. So we say, oh, we don't have good maintenance culture. No, it's not a matter we don't have good culture. We build things we cannot maintain. We build things, not that we don't have maintenance culture. We build things we cannot maintain. Because when you are building, you don't think that this also has to be maintained. The mindset is not there. So that if you cannot maintain it, you don't build it. We are just misbehaving. By the way, we owe 370 billion cedis. Okay? We owe 370. I mean, it's a complete joke. We have a minister for information. I think the minister for communication. There's communication department in the office of the president. There's just all doing the same job. So many people. And we wonder why we owe people. We owe everybody.
Well, I'll be interested to see what budget they settle on before the next election, as to if any plans to try and close this gap.
Yeah, next election is going to be interesting. I was on this panel discussion, OKFM, last Wednesday, and I think there's a lot of calls for me to come back, so I'll go on it again. Coming Wednesday. So all of you should tune to OKFM. You hear me talk, whatever the topic is, I'm going to do justice to it.
Cool. We've got one final comment from Shika. And she says, not to mention the waste from discontinued projects when new parties are voted in.
Yes. It's all wrong mindset. Because if they don't discontinue it, they can't award new contracts to their own people to get the money from. So they have to discontinue and re-award. That's it. And that's why they can't do what Guggisberg did. It's as simple as that.
It's like it's as you were talking the other day. It's a complete mindset shift.
Yeah,
a complete mindset shift,
and that's why we are the reform movement. We are here to reform the consciousness. Anything else will not work. Trust me. Like Einstein said, it is impossible to solve a problem with the same consciousness that created it. It's impossible. You cannot have the same consciousness that created a problem and think you can solve the problem. And that's what I mean with the reform agenda. Reform the mindset, reform the consciousness, reform the value system. We call it in my language, modern Sunday. Black Mamata, reform the black mindset. Ciao, Manyaba.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. Our time is up. Thank you. Don't forget to like this on YouTube. Don't forget to share. And thank you for all those of you who've commented. We'll join you again next week, Saturday at 11 a.m. UK and Ghana time. And then you just adjust the times depending on where you're watching from. So thank you for joining us and have a great day. Thank you, Dr. Nii.
Thank you very much, Uche, and everybody.
Bye-bye.